Hi everyone, welcome back, and today we are going to be talking about unit rates with fractions. So a unit rate is a rate in which the comparison is 1 unit. For example, if you have 20 pounds of dog food in 4 bags, we can divide to figure out that it will be 5 pounds of dog food in 1 bag. A reciprocal is when two numbers have a product of 1. For example, 3 over 4 and 4 over 3 are reciprocals of each other, and when you multiply 3 times 4 and 3 in our fractions, it equals 12 over 12, or 1 whole. So reciprocals always, when you're multiplying, equal 1 whole. Let's take a look at mixed numbers and improper fractions. So this is going to help us a lot when we are finding our unit rate. So to take a mixed number and to turn it into an improper fraction, what you have to do first is multiply the denominator times the whole number, and then you add what is in the numerator. So let's break that up a little bit. So 2 times 3 equals 6, plus 1 equals 7. We're going to keep our denominator the same. So 3 and 1/2 is the same as 7 over 2. So I found my match. I'm going to follow the same steps for my other mixed numbers. So 2 and 2/5. I'm going to multiply my denominator times my whole number. So 2 times 5 equals 10, plus 2 equals 12. So my improper fraction is going to be 12, and we're going to keep the denominator the same, so 12 over 5. And my last example, 5 and 3/4. I'm going to use the same steps in order to make this an improper fraction. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 equals 23. And my denominator stays the same, so it is going to be 4. I want to make a note that mixed numbers and improper fractions have the same value. So when you're converting one to the other, it does not lose its value. They are equal to each other. Now we are going to find the unit rate for each situation. So George bikes 2.5 miles in 5/12 of an hour. What is the unit rate in miles per hour? So I'm going to underline that last sentence because it tells me exactly what we are solving for and what we're comparing. So we're comparing miles per hour. I know that to find unit rate, we're going to divide. So I'm going to substitute with the information that we know. So if I want to find the miles, I'm going to use 2.5 divided by, and we're trying to find per hour. So what information I have is 5/12 of an hour. Before I am able to solve and divide my fractions, I want to take my mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to multiply my denominator and my whole number. So 2 times 2 equals 4, plus 1 will give me 5. So my new fraction is 5 over 2 divided by 5 over 12. Now I can follow my steps to solve. So I'm going to use keep, change, flip. So my first fraction is going to stay the same. My sign is going to change to multiplication. And my second fraction is going to flip. We're going to use the reciprocal. I can multiply straight across. So 5 times 12 equals 60. And 2 times 5 equals 10. When I simplify my answer, 60 divided by 10 gives me 6. And I have to make sure that I label my work. So 6 what? I'm going to look back to what I underlined. So this represents 6 miles per hour. Let's take a look at number 5. Isabella can run 1/8 mile in 1.5 minutes. How long will it take to run 1 mile? So the first thing I'm going to do is underline my question. We want to know how long it'll take to run 1 mile. This will help me to set up my problem. I know that we are dividing to find unit rate, and I know we want to figure out the minutes per mile. So when I'm writing down the division problem, first, the value that represents my minutes, 1.5, is going to be written first, divided by, and the number that represents my miles. So in this problem, we know that Isabella can run 1/8 mile. So that's how it's going to help us. I'm going to rewrite this problem so that I can change my mixed number into an improper fraction. So multiplying my denominator times my whole number, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So 3 over 2 divided by 1 over 8. I have to remember to use keep, change, flip. We're going to keep our first fraction the same. We're going to change our sign to multiplication, and we are going to flip or use the reciprocal for our second fraction. 3 times 8 is 24, and 2 times 1 is 2. So when I simplify this, my answer is 12. And I have to remember to label my work. What we were solving for in this problem was how long it will take to run 1 mile. So it will take 12 minutes per mile. Now you try. Find each unit rate. Taejon travels 5/8 mile in 1/4 hour. How far will he travel in 1 hour? So I'm going to highlight what we are solving for. So how far in 1 hour, and that tells me how to set up my problem. So how far, I'm going to write 5 over 8 divided by the amount of time in hours, so 1/4 hour. I do not have any mixed numbers, so I can go right to my next step. I'm going to use keep, change, flip. I'm going to keep 5/8 the same. I'm going to change my sign to multiplication, and I'm going to use the reciprocal which is 4 over 1. I can multiply straight across. So 5 times 4 equals 20. And 8 times 1 is 8. And my answer is now an improper fraction, so I'm going to turn it into a mixed number. I can do this by figuring out 20 divided by 8, which is 2, with 4 left over. I keep my denominator of 8 the same, and if I'm able to simplify one more time, I can. So here I see that both 4 and 8 can be simplified. They can both be divided by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. To label my work, what we solved for, we were figuring out how far in 1 hour. So our answer is 2.5 miles per hour. Number 7. Maria uses 1 1/4 cup of flour per 1/8 cup of butter. How much flour will she use per 1 cup of butter? So to underline what we're solving for, I want to know how much flour for 1 cup of butter. Now I know what order to put my values, my numbers. So how much flour? I know I have 1 1/4 cup of flour, and we're going to divide it by the amount of butter that we have. And we have 1/8 cup of butter. Before I can divide, I need to make my mixed number into an improper fraction. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So my improper fraction is 5 over 4. And then I'm going to just rewrite the rest of my problem. Now I can use keep, change, flip. I'm going to keep 5 over 4 the same. I'm going to change my sign to multiplication, and I'm going to use the reciprocal of 1 over 8, which is 8 over 1. I'm going to multiply straight across. So 5 times 8 is 40, and 4 times 1 is 4. This is an improper fraction, so I can divide to simplify. 40 divided by 4 is 10, and I need to label my work. So what we were solving for was the cups of flour per 1 cup of butter. So here I can say it is 10 cups flour per butter. Number 8. Hannah uses 3 ounces of pasta to make 3/4 servings of her pasta. How many ounces are there per serving? So I'm going to underline ounces per serving. I know exactly how to set up my problem. I'm going to write 3 because it represents my number of ounces divided by 3 over 4. That's my amount of servings. I'm going to use keep, change, flip. So 3 is going to remain the same. I can write it as a fraction over 1 because a whole number over 1 doesn't change. I'm going to use multiplication, and then the reciprocal of 3/4, which is 4/3. I can multiply straight across. 3 times 4 is 12, and 1 times 3 is 3. When I simplify 12 divided by 3, my answer is 4. I have to remember to label my work, so we were solving for ounces per serving, so there are 4 ounces in 1 serving. And my last question. Matthias cooked a 4 1/3 pound lasagna in 1 1/3 hours. How many hours per pound did it take to cook the lasagna? Oh my goodness, it sounds like a lot of lasagna. So I'm going to set up my problem. I already have the question highlighted for you so that you know exactly what you're solving for. You're trying to find how many hours per pound. So I'm going to set up my problem in that order. So my number that represents my hours is 1 1/3 divided by, and in this problem, my pounds, I know Matthias has 4 1/3 pounds, and then I'm going to divide. But wait a second, I have two mixed numbers. I need to turn both of them into improper fractions. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Three times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Now I can use keep, change, flip. I'm going to keep my first fraction the same. I'm going to change my sign to multiplication. And now I'm going to use the reciprocal of 13/3, which is 3/13. I'm going to multiply straight across. So 4 times 3 equals 12. And 3 times 13 equals 39. I am able to simplify my fractions. Both of these numbers are divisible by 3. So 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And 39 divided by 3 is 13. We have to label our work, so we found how many hours per pound of lasagna.